That's all right.
You want me on?
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
People are out there.
Can they hear us?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're on. Like we're live right now.
We're live.
Oh.
I think so. Are we? Anyone in the YouTube verse? Are we live?
Can we get a comment? There's 24 people watching. There's 24 people watching.
Would you keep that from? Oh my gosh. One second. Sorry. I gotta close this one. There. Apologies for that heinous sound. We are terrible millennials over here at Mammoth Trail Fest. You're a millennial, right?
No.
No? No. Okay. So welcome everybody. We are super excited to have you join us. We had to create a YouTube account for this very reason, and so apologies if it's a little rough around the edges, but yeah, good evening, and we come to you live from Mammoth Trail Fest HQ here in the village, and here's Katie Asmith, my co-host for this evening, another local trail runner and amazing person, and I'm Tim Tollefson. Again, welcome. We are super excited to be have you coming just a few short days away to Mammoth. It is officially race week. We've been waiting for this. A lot of people for weeks, myself years, and it's just I'm really looking forward to this. So as I mentioned in the last email, we had some snow flurries over the summit yesterday, and but right now it's shaping up to look like we're actually going to have really nice weather on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think highs are probably in the kind of high 60s, mid 70s, maybe even. But we'll get into that weather a little bit. But yes, thanks for joining us. This is going to live on YouTube afterwards, so you can reference it. Really, I think the biggest thing that I want to do is kind of review some of the runner briefing that is out on the site. So if you have not already checked it out, hop on our site at some point, either right now or later, and check out the runner information tab. All of the stuff we're going to go over, well, more than what we go over, is going to live, or it does live on the website. And so please reference that. All of the information you could possibly want is there. And let's see. So, and then also we have a bunch of signs. We have a bunch of signs that are going to be throughout the village and town that have QR codes. So if you have your phone and you're in town, or if you have family or friends, you can just scan the QR code and it will take you to the runner information tab, and then also the festival schedule. So there should be ample signage, and hopefully people are able to get what they need. I guess the first thing I want to go over is we are going to have the fest open on Thursday at 4 p.m. And most people are going to want to get their bibs as quickly as possible. So there's a 3-hour window on Thursday that you can grab your bib. Right now, we have the bib pickup we're going to have 2 Mammoth Trail Fest tents that are right in front of Side Door Cafe and Wine Bar. But we might move it right next to the start-finish line just for convenience with our timing company. So I will communicate that with you. But if our tent isn't in front of Side Door, it's going to be right next to the start-finish line, which is a very clear and obvious place in the village. Once you're in the plaza, you're going to see the Gondola building, and just off the Gondola building, there's a bridge, and we're going to have that be our starting line, and it's going to be branded out. So you'll definitely be able to pick out the start line pretty easily. And then just as a review, the races for start times on Friday, the kids race is going to go off at 11:30 a.m. and it's a 1K fun run. And then at 12:30, the 26K is going to kick off for the official races. So that's 12:30 in the plaza, and all of the races or the 26K and 50K start and end in the village plaza, right under that gondola bridge. And then the Saturday's 50K is going to start at 8 a.m. And then the Sunday hill climb is a little later. It's at 10 a.m. From Twin Lakes. Let's see. So with both the 26K and the 50K, we're doing a mass start. everything will be gun time. So when we say go, that's when our times are going to be starting. So we encourage everyone to line up, a few minutes before each race and really be ready. If you are late, it's all right, but we're going to go off of gun time for all age group awards and overall awards. So be sure that if you're vying for one of those top 3 or top 5 positions in the overall, top 3 in the age groups, that you are there at the start line when it starts. There is a slight change to Sunday's hill climb. We were going to do a mass start, but due to some logistical issues, we're going to do more of a rolling start. So it's going to be chip time. Our timing company is going to have the open, like the basically window to start over about a half-hour period. And we're going to ask people to kind of select where you think you might be in the field. Quicker runners go to the front. And we're going to let out small groups of runners at a time. And our volunteers will be directing this, but we're just going to be going out in groups of 5 or 10 at a time. And how that's going to work is we have a staging area on the bike path right next to Twin Lakes. Everyone's going to kind of hang out on that bike path just to the right side, the lake side of the path. So we allow foot traffic on the other side of the bike path. And then our volunteers are going to slowly let people kind of trickle over. You're going to walk down the very short, probably 100 meters or so, walk across the bridge. And the moment you cross the bridge, there's going to be a timing mat. Once you cross that timing mat, you're good to go. You can just start hammering or walking or whatever you're going to do, but we're going to let that be kind of our rolling start. So think of it almost like a time trial or a pursuit race, where instead of the mass start, it's going to be, small groups going at a time, which I think actually will be really nice for Dragon's Back Trail, just to kind of spread us out a little bit. But it doesn't matter if you start at the very back or the front, it will be chip time. So, you could win the race from the back of the field. So don't worry about if you're at the front or not, but we do ask that maybe our speedier runners that think they're going to be going quick kind of put themselves towards the front. That actually kind of brings me to, there's a tab on the runner information about just trail etiquette. I think it's really important that we acknowledge that, we have this amazing race going on, but these are public trails on public lands, and we don't have the right to use it over someone else. So let's be courteous to everyone out there. There are going to be other user groups, especially in the 50K. When you're on the kind of middle 15 miles of the race, you could encounter other runners, bikers, walkers, families, possibly horses. So we just ask you to be courteous and yield to other user groups. It's okay to still push yourself, but let's be friendly to everyone out there. And kind of same thing that leads into the safety of these races. We are a mountain town. We're high altitude. The town, we're sitting at 8,050 feet right here. And the summit of Mammoth Mountain is 11,053 feet. So it is high altitude. And, with that, we encourage everyone to really be cautious when you're out on the trails. There are some technical spots. A lot of the trail is very runnable and smooth, but there are rocks, there are challenging areas. And when in doubt, slow down, make sure you take care of yourself. Also with, mountains, weather can change quickly. Like we said, that we're forecasted to have a beautiful day, but you could have a blue sky and then an hour or two later, clouds roll in, and, we'll keep everyone updated on the weather forecast, but we encourage everyone to carry what you think you might need for all conditions, and that should include also a space blanket and a mobile phone. We aren't requiring that you have that stuff, but it's recommended. And that's just good practice, for anyone that's out in the mountains. Weather can change, accidents can happen. And we encourage everyone just to be thoughtful and, kind of approach it, prudent, with a kind of a prudent attitude. So, and all of that stuff is on the website. But we have an incredible medical staff out there from Mammoth Hospital and also the Mammoth Mountain Ski Area Patrol. And we have a very coordinated and good emergency action plan in place. So should something happen, we're going to deploy according to that, and you're in good hands. But the nature of any ultra race, you could be at a spot where you're in between aid stations, and if that were to occur, hopefully you have enough on your person to be able to kind of manage yourself in that until help is on the way. But again, we hope for the best, but we always plan for the worst, just because we know that accidents and things can happen, and we want to be ready for that. Also, I guess with the weather thing, our cutoffs, they are generous, but some people will be chasing the cutoffs, and it's possible some of us don't make the cutoffs, and that's okay. But something that we we've talked to our aid station captains about is, they do have the liberty to enforce cutoffs. So should there be someone chasing a cutoff and you get to the aid station just prior or just after the cutoff, we are going to hold true to our cutoffs because it's for the safety of you guys, it's for the safety of our volunteers. At that point, if you don't make an aid station by a certain time for the cutoff, you will officially be out of the race. It might sound harsh, but it's important. And these are public lands, so you're free to continue on, but know that if you've missed that cutoff, there will be no aid that's guaranteed from any of our staff or volunteers, and you would be just out on your own technically. So we just have to draw a line somewhere, and I think it's important just to communicate that. With someone that might be chasing cutoffs on either race, the 26K or the 50K, we have sunset at about 6:51 on Friday and 6:49 on Saturday. So that means if you are in that, chasing the 7:30 cutoff on Friday, it's going to get dark on you. So that's something where you'll have to plan accordingly to have a headlamp either on your person, or if someone's crewing you in that last aid station, pick up a headlamp from that person. For the 26K, we aren't doing drop bags. We're currently trying to offer drop bags for the 50K. I'm going to update everyone as well. If that happens, it would be at the summit, so mile 20 of the 50K. And so if you are someone that might be chasing that cutoff, you could pick up your headlamp in that bag. I will communicate that before the race starts. And if we do end up with the drop bags, what we'll do is we'll have a vehicle stationed just past the start line on Canyon Boulevard. And we ask that everyone, if you want to utilize a drop bag, we keep it down like your bag, just kind of the simple spike bag or race bag that people typically will have on, at home. But it should not be a backpack. We want to keep it smaller, almost a grocery bag size bag that can close. And we'll have a spot that's designated that you can drop it there. Our team will take it to the summit, and our volunteers at the summit will lay them out and help you get your drop bags. They would then put the drop bags back in the vehicle, and we'll bring them back to the finish line. And the drop bags would live in the medical area, which is underneath the gondola. So again, I'll communicate that if we can have. I'm really hoping that we can. At the moment, we don't, so don't plan on it. But in the next 48 hours, we'll know whether or not we can. But definitely, if it's going to get dark on someone, especially in the 50K, it's an 8 p.m. cutoff. That's a good hour after sundown. You're going to need a headlamp. Same thing goes for just the overall temperatures. It might be 75 degrees in the middle of the day, but if you are one of those people towards the end of the race, it can get cool quickly. Our overnight lows have been in the mid 30s recently. I think it's going to be the high 30s come race day, but still that's very chilly. So if you're working hard, you're at altitude, you're wet or sweaty, plan accordingly that maybe someone that's crewing you, or if you have a jacket in your pack, I would recommend using that as well. So the courses, we're in the process of marking all the courses, and it's going to be generously marked. We had a couple of volunteers, Leo and his father were out there doing amazing work today. But it's going to be a mixture of, we have ribbons that are pink and green. So these are going to be clipped onto trees or bushes wherever we can, mixed in with pink flags. Some of our higher alpine terrain that's above tree line don't have things to clip onto, so you'll be following pink flags. And then also there's some areas that we might just use some pink ribbons. And then we have directional signs also in pink. So there's going to be a combination of a lot of pink out there, but that would be the stuff that you will be following. We do recommend, though, that you download or upload the GPX file onto your watch or handheld device, say your phone, so that you have the map and the file on you. Ultimately, it is your responsibility to know the course. We are going to do a great job of marking and make sure it's there, and have people out to help support. But ultimately, it does fall on you. So we recommend that if you have not done that, that you do that. If you are a Chorus user, they have a great landing page on their site where you can scan their QR code and update it. If you're someone that updated or uploaded your GPX file a couple of weeks ago, I'd recommend redoing it, because the courses did change in the last week. On Mammoth Mountain ski area, they're doing some construction. So we were forced to make a couple of reroutes. overall distance and elevation change or cumulative gain don't change in the course profiles, but we are utilizing a few access roads versus some single track trail. So if you uploaded the GPX file prior, please go and update, use the current one that is either on the Coro site or on any of the links through our site. If you click on the maps, it'll take you to CalTopo, and you can upload or import them from there. So that is, the final thing on kind of courses and safety, our races start and end in the Village Plaza for the 26K and the 50K, which is really awesome because then we can have a lot of people around cheering you on, sending you off on this big journey. But it isn't a closed plaza. So on the way out, it's going to be pretty dedicated where we have the right of way, or not right of way, but we have kind of a runway that, hopefully a lot of spectators and fans are cheering us on. And it's going to be pretty clear sailing to get out of the plaza. On the way back in, since people are going to be trickling in over the course of several hours, 6-7 hours, we aren't closing a dedicated spot in the village. There are intermittent barriers that are going to help kind of distinguish the path all the way to the finish line. We're only talking about 1/8 of a mile. But as you enter the Village Plaza, after you've completed your 26K or 50K, you're going to descend a couple stairs, and then you'll be on cobblestones all the way to the finish line. We just ask that you be cognizant of the other people in the plaza. Hopefully, we have fans cheering and everyone's aware and we have signage. But just know that there could potentially be spectators or just people frequenting the village that are walking around. So we ask that you also be aware of people there so that we avoid any collisions. You can always say, run her back or, on your left. But just know that there is potential for people to be walking around. So just be aware of that. Let's see, we talked about our cutoffs and headlamps. Aid stations, I know this is a big thing. We have amazing aid station volunteers this year. I'll just kind of run through them quickly. Mammoth Hospital is going to be running A1, which is Canyon Lodge for the 26K, and they're going to be managing Eagle Lodge, which is A2 for the 50K. And then up at, I guess I'll go with 26K. So that Mammoth has the A1 for Canyon Lodge for the 26K. Up at the summit, our partners at GOO are going to be managing the Summit Aid Station on Friday for the 26K, which is going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of lively activation up there, including Salty, the GOO Yeti, and some other stuff. So yeah, it's once you make it to the summit, it's you're going to be rewarded with a lot of fun. And then down at Chair 2, which is A3, Friends of the Inyo, one of our local nonprofits of the Eastern Sierra, Alex and his team are going to be managing that one. So you're in really good hands on the 26K. On Friday or on Saturday for the 50K, the first aid station is water only. It's only 3.3 miles in, so we're not going to have. We do have a few community volunteers that are going to be helping out there. But your first main aid station would be A2 at mile just over 5, and that also is going to be managed by Mammoth Hospital, our friends over there. Then up at A3, Duck Pass, we have Katie and our East Side Trail Runners local trail group that are going to be managing you guys out there, taking care of you as you enter kind of right on the border of some of the wilderness areas of the Lakes Basin. Then as you approach A4, which is mile 15 and a half, we have the Mammoth High School cross country team and Alicia. They're going to be helping you out through there. As you make your way to the summit, Elka and our friends from Auburn, California are going to be helping you at the summit. They're going to be slinging summit pancakes. So anyone that's interested in that, I highly recommend taking them. If you've ever had one of Elka's pancakes, they're amazing. And then as you work your way back down to Main Lodge off the summit at A5, we have the Mammoth High School Nordic team with Nancy Fiddler and also Alex from Friends of the Inyo. They're going to kind of team up to take care of you there. And then A6, if I did my math correctly, 7, I may have gotten those off, but I said the locations correctly. The last one at the garage is also going to be a water-only station. You're only 2.2 miles from the finish, but we have a couple volunteers that are going to be staffing that one as well. At all 8 stations, we have kind of a full line of GOO products. So we're going to have GOO Roctane drink mixes and they're going to be very clearly distinguished. Our big 5-gallon jugs have GOO koozies on them, which is amazing. And then the other jugs are just water. And our volunteers also have pitchers that they're going to be serving you out of. So there's going to be GOO Roctane drink and then water. We'll also have Coke. And then for the other GOO stuff, we have Roctane energy gels. We have GOO chews, and we have Stroop waffles. With those, all of the goo gels are gluten-free and vegan. All of the chews are also gluten-free and vegan. The Stroop waffles, there's a mix, and our aid station volunteers can help you with that. But there are some that are gluten-free and some, but they are not vegan. So the Stroop waffles are not vegan, but they do have gluten-free and non-gluten-free options for those. And then also we'll have our typical kind of sweet, salty, like kind of offerings for aid station stuff. Let's see. I think that was all for that. Any questions?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things I just wanted to make sure that everybody's on the same page. The Dragon Ascent is the rolling start. Everything else is a master.
Yeah.
So just to reiterate that.
Correct.
To also just reiterate that it's very dry up here, and you will get thirsty. So your usual hydration plan, if you've done this sort of thing before, just listen to your body because you're going to need more fluids than you think. So,
Coach Katie.
Yeah, just know that it gets really dry, like you always, and everything takes longer. So your typical 8-miler here takes longer than your typical at home. So keep that in mind. And then the other thought is, especially at the summit, I think it will probably, most likely, it will be cold and windy. I mean, yesterday it snowed at the summit, I believe. Or was it the day before?
It was yesterday.
Losing track.
Yeah.
So the point is, it shouldn't be on race day, but the point is it may be cold, especially if you're going to spectate at the summit on Sunday after the Dragon's back ascent. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be a fun party on Sunday, kind of ending the whole weekend, and you should all come. But it will be cold, so just keep that in mind. So those are the things I kind of wanted to.
No, that's a really good reminder. And that, I mean, she's totally right. It could be 75 degrees and sunny, but the wind could rip up on the summit.
The wind.
So, if you are a spectator, bring a puffy, bring a blanket. If you're a runner, hopefully you're not hanging out too long on the summit, but if you packed a jacket, you might want to throw it on there or just work your way off the summit. But all of our volunteers are going to be layered up while they're up there. So I think that's a really good reminder.
Do you want to mention the gondola access?
Yes. So we have a tab in the runner information and for the fest schedule, frequently asked questions, but gondola access is limited to certain hours. So I recommend you check that out. We have a great subsidized rate for people to access it. And thank you to our partners at Mammoth Mountain Ski Area for doing this for us. And so we ask that, if you are going to, or we don't ask, you have to pick up your ticket at the Adventure Center, which is right near Main Lodge. If you look at our website, I have links to the Google Maps of all these and directions and specific times listed. So if you are someone that is going to have a crew at the summit, they will have to pick up a ticket to get to the summit. If we end up with the drop bags, hopefully we do, they will, our aid station volunteers up there will have them. And then they'll communicate, but we'll get people off before this, or as the aid station closes, the gondola will close shortly after that. It is possible if anyone wants to get to the summit without the gondola, you can go up there via Dragon's Back Trail or the Mammoth Mountain Trail. Those are two accessible trails that you can hike up. Dragon's Back Trail, I'd say just plan for is about a 3-mile hike up. And then the other side is probably 4.5 miles or so. So if you have crews or friends that want to do that, you can. Just know that it's going to take a bit longer. And if you do hike up there, you can take the gondola back down. That's free of charge.
If you have an Icon Pass, I don't even know that.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think because it's actually closed. Technically, the mountain is closed for the season. Yesterday was the last day of the bike park. So because of our race, they made a special exemption for us to keep the gondola spinning for us. So we're very thankful. But I don't think it'll work.
Yeah, I don't think so because Icon Pass is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will say that the gondola is really fun and beautiful. And if you've never been here, you get big vistas of all of Mammoth Mountain. So it's highly discounted.
And and on Sunday, our hope is that we pack the summit for the hill climb. So whether or not, if you did the 50K, the 26K, or you're doing the hill climb, encourage your friends, family, get up on the summit. We're going to have a party up there. We're going to have food. We're going to have donuts. We're going to have we're going to have our audio team playing music. It's just going to be a party. And again, it could be cold, so dress accordingly. But bring a cowbell, cheer people on. We're really excited. We have an amazing, kind of treat for everyone up there with the summit. So, and what's cool is that same area at the top of Dragon's Back, the 26K and the 50K go up and over that portion, and it's the same finish line that Dragon's Back Hill Climb on Sunday will have. So the people who run on Friday and Saturday are going to go through the Sunday's finish line and then keep going. But it's going to be pretty sweet up there.
And the race starts at 10 for the Dragon Descent. I think probably around 11, 10:30. Like, what are we?
I would
think just.
So like, okay, yeah.
Do we do the start or the end? Like,
so
we're not gonna be able to see the finishers.
Yeah.
The lead finishers.
That's a really good question. I would encourage people on Sunday, don't try and catch the start of the race. Twin Lakes has very limited parking. It's the last day of the camping season, so people are going to be exiting their campsites. I would recommend, if you want to participate as a spectator of the Dragon's Back Ascent on Sunday, just go to the summit. Let's skip the start, because the speedy runners, the men and women, they're going to take 34, 35 minutes to 40 minutes from start to finish. And you won't be able to go from the start line, drive around to Main Lodge and get up. So yeah, I think.
And it'll be fun to see the finisher.
Oh yeah. Like everyone, you've all seen a start line. Yeah. So that's a good, and that brings up a good point. For spectating the 26K, basically you're like from the start, hopefully everyone's cheering in the village. 1 mile up the road is Canyon Lodge, which, I mean, you could even just walk there at the time that some of the runners go, so you don't have to hop in the car. If you do hop in the car, it's a very short drive to Canyon Lodge to cheer people on. But then the only 3 spots to really cheer on for the 26K would be Canyon Lodge, the summit, which is gondola access, or Chair 2, which also is a huge parking area. So those are the 3 spots to cheer for the 26K. For the 50K, you have more options. You can pretty much go anywhere, but we recommend Canyon Lodge, Eagle Lodge, and the summit and Main Lodge. You are not allowed to go to Duck Pass. That's going to be Katie's aid station. It's very limited parking, and you have to go through a campground. So Duck Pass is off limits to crews or spectators. And then Horseshoe Lake also is discouraged from you guys going there because there's limited parking. So let's let our volunteers handle that part.
What would be the best parking for runners?
Okay, so parking for runners, anywhere or for Sunday?
I think, I guess for all 3.
Okay,
right?
So we'll take it day by day. Parking for runners. There's a really good parking tab on our website that's going to lay out all of the specifics. But in general, there's a big parking lot just across the street from the village. It's called the Burner Street parking lot. It is paid parking over there, but they can accommodate a lot of cars, and you're just directly across the street from the start-finish line. This time of year in Mammoth Lakes, almost all town parking is allowed, like street parking, I should say, unless specifically notified otherwise. So like if you're on a street or in a neighborhood, it'll say no parking. So abide by that. But there is a lot of street parking throughout town. And then also we have an amazing free town trolley that is running all day long. So you click on the link on our website to get the schedule of the trolley, and wherever your condo is or your hotel, you can probably find a stop right near it. And we would encourage you to take the trolley, get dropped off in the village, and then you can take that home. Mammoth is only 4 square miles, and the main stuff of all of our condos, hotels, and the start finish area is really probably a 2-mile kind of radius we're talking about. So it's small, and so you should be able to get around okay. All of the main lodges I just talked about for cheering, ample parking, so you can always park at those places. Follow the overnight parking rules that are listed on the website as well. For Sunday's hill climb, this is where it gets a little tricky. Same thing for the start. There's very limited parking at Twin Lakes. So I would encourage, if you are a runner that is having to manage all of your own start finish, it'd be great to maybe even try and link up with someone to get dropped off, but getting dropped off at Twin Lakes for the Dragon's Back Ascent is ideal. So if you have someone with you, we would recommend dropping you off, and then they can go around to Main Lodge and meet you up at the summit, or wait at Main Lodge till you come down from the summit. There is limited parking that you can find around Twin Lakes and kind of that area. But again, it's more of a campground and there isn't a ton of parking. So you can kind of try your luck, but I'd recommend getting dropped off there.
You answered the question, but for spectating on Sunday, where's the best place to park for hiking to the summit? So
Main Lodge. The shortest route would be the Dragon's Back, but that's where the race is. So I wouldn't encourage you to hike up the race course. But if you parked at Main Lodge, you can hike up or walk up the Mammoth Mountain Trail. And I want to say, yeah. Oh, it's actually a trail next to the exact mountain. It's about 4 miles though. So if you got there early, I mean, enjoy a nice hike. You know, from Main Lodge, you're probably 8,900 feet. So you got about a 2,100 foot gain in 4 miles. Totally doable, and it's a beautiful hike. So, you know, if you're going to do that, maybe show up at 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and have a nice morning hike, dress warm, and then be on the summit. And again, you could take the gondola down.
That's fun. That'd be good. That's a good combo.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's all of the questions. Any other questions?
And let's see.
Good.
Yeah, and again, there's a ton of information on the website, so please peruse that. I learned how to web design just for this, and so it'd make me happy if you check it out, so that I know that a few eyeballs got on it. Vendors. Okay, so we have some really great vendors in the village. Some of them are on the sign behind us. We have Koros. They're going to have a great tent out there. Goo, Jewel Bow. We have Leaky Poles. Who else have we got? We have some of our nonprofits that aren't on the sign right now. We have Friends of the Inyo, which is one of our local groups. Footprints Running Camp, which do amazing stuff for educating runners. We have Runners for Public Lands, Eastern Sierra Pride. I'm really excited about all these people that are going to be there. So please, spend time with them. I know Footprints. I talked to Dakota recently, and he's like, I said, hey, do you want to attend the entire week? He's like, yeah, I'm going to set up shop and talk climate for 3 days straight. So they're really good opportunities to learn from people, connect with them. If you need some stuff, we have there, you can pick up stuff from them, or we have some discount codes when you check in for some of the local mountaineer shops that you can go shop at, like Mammoth Mountaineering. And then also, I'm pretty excited. Our friends at Black Velvet Coffee are offering a discount to all trail runners or anyone who's registered the entire weekend. So we have a shakeout run on Friday morning where they're going to offer coffee for about 40 people, but then they have a discount code that you get a discount the entire weekend. So when you pick up your stuff, whenever it is, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, or hopefully not Saturday, but we'll give you all of the stuff in your little goodie bag. Without a bag, as I mentioned in the runner email, you bring your own bag. We're trying to reduce waste, so and it's pretty easy. We all have bags, so. Yeah. And
just a shout out generally to check out the race schedule or the festivity schedule online. There's so many fun things happening. So it's more than just a race. We are really celebrating all that we have here in Mammoth Lakes and in our county here, and it's really exciting time for all of us. So please check it out, because we have panels, we have podcasts, we have shakeout runs, there's a lot going on.
There is. And that was kind of the design on this. We all love to run, we want to push ourselves, and that's the focus. We're going to get out there. But I think there's so much more. And, especially if you're someone that, okay, you didn't hit your target, you missed a cutoff, that's okay. There's so much more to still engage with our community. And so that's our hope, is that you can, come, have some good grub, listen to us, people talk. Katie's one of the panelists on Friday. Watch some really cool films. I'm really excited about these. I had a lot of great submissions, and I selected a few that just really kind of hit home, and I think you're going to dig them. So especially on those, if you come out for the fest, most of the stuff is around 6, 7 to 8 o'clock. Again, dress warmly. We have a fire pit in the village plaza. You can snuggle up around that if you score one of the sweet spots. Otherwise, there are a bunch of chairs. Probably seating for about 50 plus people. So if you have a chair, bring it with you, or there's ample standing room. But yeah, I think, after the races, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on. So please hang out with us and just share a good weekend with the community.
Somebody asked about breakfast on Saturday before the race. There's a couple of local places in town, like Stellar Brew or Looney Bean, just grab and go places. Breakfast Club's another one for to go breakfast burritos.
Yeah, those are good. And then I guess, I'd say those are probably the top ones.
There's a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Black Velvet Coffee.
BBC, hit up BBC. Yeah. And also in the village. So in the village, there are ample restaurants. There's a brewery, there's a distillery, there's a wine bar, there's a coffee shop. There are
Italian and Mexican.
So you basically, if you hop on the Village website, you can find the list of offerings, and then even when you're here, just cruise around. But there's a lot of stuff, so it, yeah, you can.
Yeah, there's a bagel shop, New York Deli
Yep.
Bagels. They are really good bagels.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and that's actually where on Friday we're gonna have a shakeout run with Billy Yang and Hillary Matheson, and that's gonna be right next to the bagel shop at Mammoth Pizza Company, the Slice Bar, and that's gonna be yeah, it is, and that's where BBC Black Velvet's gonna be slinging coffee, cold brew and nitro. So yeah, or is it cold brew and drip? Forgive me. Yeah, I think it's gonna be sweet, and yeah. So any other questions popping up or?
That's it. Lots of love on your web design and just generally thanking you for doing such a great job at all of this. I know this has been a lot of work.
I feel like I've run an ultra 10 times over,
yeah.
and it's only Monday. But you know, it's yeah, I'm really excited. And then if things come up, hopefully you find answers on the website. And then yeah, we're stoked to have you guys. I know Katie, she's gonna lead us into kind of a preview. The other thing is like, yeah, this, you know, we have a lot going on, but we have amazing like top end runners coming also, like from the front of the pack, and you know, obviously we're all about, you know, front to back, you know, DFL to the winner. But Katie's going to run us through some of the, you know, kind of elite women and men that are vying for top prize. And yeah, so take it away.
Lots to say here. You can sign off if you're just interested in the race details. But this is stuff that I get really amped on because I love racing and competition. But just to say, first of all, we are so excited to have all of you at Mammoth Lakes. We've been wanting to have a trail race here for a long time, so thank you, Tim, for making this happen. Our trails are just epic here, and you're going to have so much fun. So really, from the first finisher to the last, we are just so pumped to bring you here. Though I will say, if you win your race in either the male or female division, you will be setting a course record.
That's true.
So that's kind of fun.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll lay down a time tomorrow.
Oh, shoot. But it's kind of fun. So anyways, I have a lot to go through. So you do not have to stay on. I spent way too much time doing this. We have some amazing runners coming to throw it down, and it's going to be really fun to watch. I will be at the finish line interviewing you as you come through. Those first probably, I don't know, 3 to 5 runners in each category, and it's just going to be really fun to see you. So, okay, I'm just going to start just my little list. You can sign off if you want. All right, we're going to start with the 50K. We're going to start with the women because we do that. I do that. All right, we're going to start with Taylor Young. She is coming from Los Angeles. She is coached by David Roach of Summer Girl Play. But she really podiums at every race she has done, from 10K to 25K. But I believe that this will be the longest 50K, the longest race to date. So she'll be running the 50K. But I think she's ready to throw down. And she takes a lot of my course record, my CRs on Strava from the Santa Monica Mountains. So I know she's freaking going to throw it. Jenny Quilty, coming all the way from Canada. Another, actually, Summer Girl Play athlete. She's a dear friend of mine. She pays me at Western States, and I'm so excited to have her here. But she's legit. She's had wins at UTHC 125 in Canada, podiums on most races, including winning Squamish 50-50. She's just freaking awesome. So look out for her. Anna Suchi, I'm not familiar with you, but she's from Gold River, California. She has 40 ultras to her name, including a second at the Shot of the Giants last year. She's like very experienced. As Kelly Cure from Oakland, she's won both 50Ks she's ever ran. So only 2 races and won both. So that's pretty cool. Lindsay Bednar, she mostly does shorter distances, 5K to half marathon, won both. She's won some of them outright. So that's exciting. But then she also got a second at Tahoe at TRT 100 miler. So she's got quite range right there. Susan Barrows, she's won Javelin 100K. She's podiumed at Pine to Palm 100 miler, Marin Ultra Challenge. Another one to watch, has a lot of ultras under her belt. Amy Sturgill, she's from Bishop, local here. It's so fun to see local runners here. I'm so pumped about that. She's gotten first at Tusher's 100K, 4th at Big Chief 50K. So it'll be fun. Dana Stinson is another local runner. She always gets my CRs on Strava too out of the Bishop area. She's fast. Mostly does like local races here, but I think she's gonna she's gonna throw down. And then the list goes on and on. There's Laurel Fiddle from Laurel Fiddler from Crowley Lakes.
Yes.
Kathleen Baker from Ventura. She's like a legend in Ventura. Jessica Schneier from Spring Valley, California. Christy Connect might join. Previous pro might show up, and so we've got a lot of depth in the 50K women. All right, on to the men. Men, who's ready? Is anybody still listening?
Oh, everyone's still there. They're engaged.
Okay.
I love this.
All right, men's 50K. We've Chris Myers, who's also a dear friend of mine. He's currently living with me.
Chris is fast. He's fast.
He is doing a little touch of altitude training right now and studying the course. So watch out for him. He just won Bulldog 50K. He's gotten fourth at Broken Arrow 52K, fifth at Way Too Cool this past year. He's won Quicksilver 50K, Black Canyons 50K, won a lot of races. He has a lot of experience, and he's awesome. Also coached by some more role play. Makai Clemens, who's coming from LA too, he is a good friend of Chris, so that's cool that they're going to compete against each other. I don't know if you remember him, but he was a favorite. A lot of people talking about him for a golden ticket last year at Black Canyons 100K. He ended up getting fourth, just shy of that golden ticket, but it looks like he's going back next year, which is fun. So he also just got seventh at Mount Baldy, and he's just a really good climber, and Chris is good friends with him and trains with him, and is like, he's ready to throw down. So that's fun. Jordan Perry is a dark horse. Everybody watch out for Jordan Perry. I wonder if he's on the call. I hope he is. We love Jordan. He's also coached by my husband. He's a physical therapist too, but freaking dominates. He was previous really competitive triathlete, like on the Kona scene, but now he's just runs and trails, and he's a dad of 2 kids and really freaking fast, pushing double strollers up mountains. So watch out for him. Drew McAmer. Probably a lot of people have heard of him. He's coming from Bend, Oregon. He's got a lot of races under his name also. Very strong runner. Look out for him. Trayson Knopp, looks like he's 23 years old, lives in Reno, I think, but I think he's from Alaska, I believe. Let me know if I'm wrong there. He got 7th at Bandera 100K last year, and always just podiums at everything he does. Ford Nichols, he's a Mammoth local. I don't know him, but he has altitude to his advantage. He set a local FKT here recently. Ben Schreck, another local Mammoth guy. He's a previous track and field athlete from MIT. So obviously he's like fast in that way, but he's got the advantage of altitude. So watch out for that. He just got a 2nd in a 50K in July, so he's got some 50K experience. I gotta give a shout out to Adam Campbell. He's a veteran. Really, really excited to have Adam join. I've never met him personally, so I'm excited to be on a panel with him also on Friday night. So yeah, veteran trail runner. Super stoked to have him. So he'll be running both 50K and the hill climb. So that's rad. Jeff Kozak, had to give him a shout out.
Yeah, Jeff, the OG of the Sierra.
Freaking 96 ultras in his name.
He's probably done 400 on his own.
Right? But he's had big wins. I mean, he's won San Diego 100, Bishop High Sierra 50K. He's our resident Ultra Running Magazine contributor.
Yeah.
So, and then the other one, a little dark horse, because he doesn't have too much on Ultra Sign Up, but Garrett Corcoran.
Yes.
He's from Salt Lake City. He's a 228 marathoner, sub 4 miler. He's fast.
Yeah, one of our other locals has called him as the dark horse winner. So we'll see.
All right, that was a lot. Or do we have any listeners?
Oh no, I don't think we lost anybody. Oh, actually, wait, could I say one thing real quick?
Sure.
Someone did ask. I caught in the chat. I'm wearing my glasses, but I still can't read it that well.
Okay.
I forgot to mention the Mammoth Triple. So we have 20 people signed up for all 3 races, which is super cool. They're taking on, I think it's about 51 miles of total racing over the weekend. There will be 3 bibs for all 3, or 3 different bibs for each race. So when you check in, our volunteers will give you all 3 bibs. They'll be marked 26K, 50K, and hill climb. But it's very important that you wear the correct bib for the correct race and leave the other bibs at home. If you for some reason had them all on you or you had them in your bag, it's going to mess up the timing. So please leave the bibs you don't need for that day at the hotel room or in your car. And then once you're done, maybe mark it off, like retire that bib and then use your next one for the next day. And then someone asked, how many kids are running? I think we have about 16 or 18 kids signed up for the 1K. So, and I made a mistake, and Katie pointed out, I'm still,
I'm a mom, and
I'm not a parent. It's Friday at 11:30. Kids are in school, so apologies to the especially locals. But next year, I've learned my lesson. We're going to have the kids run on a Saturday. So
I just saw 234 participants in the 26K. Any tips on loading a JPX file to the watch? I would say YouTube it because
Yeah.
it kind of depends on which watch you have.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? I think we're good.
I think that was
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
on to the
On to the
26K.
26K.
Yeah.
If anybody's still listening. Okay, we're gonna start with the women again. MK Sullivan's coming.
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
So
The
excited.
champ from Way Too Cool. She's
so
in it.
Cool. Yes, total fangirl over here. We're so excited to have you here, MK. She has been on a freaking just tear with the Golden Trail series. She's gotten top 10 at 2 of the World Series with Golden Trail. So the Mount Blanc Marathon and Pikes Peak Ascent, which was last Saturday. Saturday.
Yeah.
I just reviewed that. Free trail, I should know. So she got 9th. She's just super fast. I'm super excited to have her here. She's really running with some of the best ultra runners, sub-ultra runners in the world. So, and then of course, yeah, she won Way Too Cool 50K, which is always a really competitive race. So we're really happy to have you here. Okay. Kelly Devine Wedberg, she's from Bishop. I don't know you, but I want to meet you. You're freaking awesome. You have, I think there's 26 races under your name or something. You race a lot locally, but she tears it up. She gets podiums on everything. Most of the races she wins. So that's cool. Melissa Tenkate, this is wins from Montagne d'Oro half marathon, La Quasa 25K. So I think you're stepping up a little bit in distance. Sally Brooking, I just have to give you a shout out, and I really hope you're coming. You're 65. She's 65 years old, total badass. 193 results on Ultra Sign Up. 193. Okay, wait, get this. Last year, she got 2nd overall in a 50K in Georgia, a local 50K. What? Is that real? Can somebody tell me if that's real? I'm just I can't wait to meet you. I want your signature. Okay, Sally Brooking, total fangirl. You're so cool, and I really hope you're coming. Amy Leadham from Berkeley. Dude, crusher, 2018. She got 9th at CCC, 4th at Way Too Cool. Really excited to have you here. Some racers that we wish were joining, Hillary Allen, Amanda Basham won't be joining us. Maybe Lindsay, we're not sure. Lindsay Tolson, we'll see. So that's the women's lead racers. Maybe we'll get some dark horses in there too for the 26K. 26K men.
This one's going to be good. I mean, they're all good.
They're all good. Okay.
I just know so many of these guys. I get fired up. I'm
Okay. Rod Farmer, I got to start with you because you're Mammoth local. He just crushed UTMB. I think he passed 28 people or something in the last 2 climbs of UTMB. 22nd overall UTMB this year. So pumped. 4th at Canyons, 4th at Bandera, 1st at Quad Dipsy last year. That was a huge breakthrough race. So anyways, we're super pumped. Obviously lives here locally, trains with us. Altitude, nothing for him. So pumped to have him. Audrey Meisner, another good friend of mine from Santa Monica, just got married. So excited to have you here. And really, literally, he's gotten first at every single race he's ever raced. Every single one. So we'll see if the streak stays alive. But that's including Tusher's Marathon, Black Canyon 60K. He actually is the course record there. Sean O'Brien 50K, list goes on. He's training for Javelina 100K, which will be fun. Cole Watson, 14th at Western States this year. He won Formidable 35.5 this year. 3rd at Javelina 100 last year. 5th at Canyons 100K 2021. So everybody should know Cole.
Sub 14, 15, 5K runner.
Yeah, he's the Sacramento.
4-minute miler.
Right?
Yeah.
Who else? Kennedy Rufner. Do you want to speak of him? I don't know him, but he's doing both the 26K and the hill climb. He's an Olympic trials marathon qualifier, budding trail runner. He's ready to throw down.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do well.
Yeah, he's gonna do well. All right. And then Patty O'Leary, probably everyone knows Patty, total veteran, doing both 26K and hill climb. We're so pumped to have Patty here. Thanks for coming, Patty. Patrick Wachter, he just got 4th at Lake Sonoma this year at the 50 miler, 2nd at Formidable 50K this year. He's just on fire. It looks like he's running Quad Dipsy this year and then Black Canyon 100K this year. So I don't know if he's going for a ticket, but he's slowly building. So it's fun to see Patrick. Tom Sullivan, another really fast dude, 26K and hill climb. Looks like he's from Reno. He got 8th at Way Too Cool, 5th at Canyons 25K, and he won Baldy, the run to the top in 2021. very fast on the hills. Had to give a shout out to Dan Yarborough. Do you know him?
Oh yeah, from Bishop.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's been
Freaking legend.
He's been running a long.
This guy.
I barely got his course record at Bishop Ice Ultra.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's so cool.
He's fast.
So I didn't know we've had a trail competition. We've had a trail race here before.
2007.
So I knew this because of Dan's ultra sign.
You're like, wait, there was.
I was like, wait, what?
It was
he
like
has a bunch of wins from back in the day.
It was like a unicorn event. Like it like happened and disappeared and no one talked about it. Like,
well, we're bringing it back.
Yeah.
Is it like similar?
I have no idea. I doubt it.
Well, Dan would know.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, Dan, if you're in the chat room, help us out.
Let us know. Yeah. Ryan Gelfie, we wish you were coming. He's not coming. Bummer. All right. Dragon Ascent. I'm gonna make this quick if anybody's still listening. All right. One I'm really excited about is Helen Mino Faulkner. She's awesome. I watched her race at Big Chief last year. But she just got 13th at CCC in August, which is pretty rad. She's gotten second at Broken Arrow 52 last year. She's won Castle Peak 100K. She's actually heading to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and for the UTMB race. Also, I think it's in October. But she's hitting the scene hard. She's ready to throw down. She's only doing the Dragon Ascent. She's like, I'm throwing everything into the Dragon Ascent. I'm sending like a really tough course record to beat. So I'm really excited for her. Dino Dell is a Santa Barbara legend. She got third at 9 Trails last year. Kennedy Ruffner, she's from Bellingham. She's doing both the 26K and the Ascent. She's speedy with like the shorter distances, but then she ran a 50K in the last couple of months, and I think she won that too. Elaine Carpenter is also, she did the 26K. She's doing the 26K in the Hill Ascent from Carson City really fast. And I have to give a shout out to Alicia Chang and the Mammoth High School cross country team because a bunch of them are doing the Dragon Ascent, which will be really fun to have all those.
It's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Watch out for the Nordic and the cross country kids.
Yeah, Nordic's doing it too. Oh, sweet.
Like, yeah. So if you see like some 15, 16-year-olds like flying by you, don't feel bad. Yeah. Like they are crushers and they're local.
And they will, yeah. Altitude doesn't affect. No. All right, for the men, Mike Sinceri. Wow, that's a huge name. Pretty rad to have you here. He's a climber, world-class climber. He actually just got 4th at Pikes Peak Marathon. Huge, like super stacked field.
And he said he wasn't in shape.
I know, that was just last week. It was like, what, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
So pretty rad. He got 8th at the 52K at Broken Arrow. He's got 4th at Lake Sonoma and won the Rep 50K. Yeah, he's freaking climber. He's going to crush that VK. Or I should call it the Dragon Ascent. Yeah. And again, Patty O'Leary, we already talked about him, but he's gotten 5th at Lake Sonoma, 8th at Canyon, 2nd at Tushers. Adam Campbell's also doing the Dragon Ascent. Oh man, who did I miss? How much fun though, right guys? Anyways, all of you, we're going to have so much fun. I wish I was racing. I'll be cheering hard.
Yeah.
And
we will be living vicariously through all of your suffering. And it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Okay, I think that's a wrap.
That's it.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you watch this later, thank you for watching it. We will welcome you all on Thursday night, just a couple days away, and it's going to be a great weekend. You know, if we just remember, like there's so much more than just the yourself as a runner, and so hopefully you remind yourself of that this weekend, and you enjoy some time with the community. And we look forward to seeing you guys. So
thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Should I end this stream?
How do I have to? End stream.
End stream.
End. Bye.
Yay.